Hey Visionaries, it's Nina Marie, aka Acyfaust, and today we'll be going over some of the cards you can find in Splatterkins TCG. First up, the Visionary. Here is Delilah Hart. She's a vibrant Visionary. Each Visionary comes with their own unique set of talents. On the top left, you can see how much inspiration she starts the game with, which is 10. Her first talent is Inspire. At the beginning of your turn, Delilah Hart inspires all of your dried Splatterkin by 1 inspiration. Her second talent is known as Replenish. Delilah Hart gains 3 inspiration each round. Next is Elisa Kalchik, the Dark Visionary. She starts with 8 inspiration. Her first talent is Tragedy. Each time a dark Splatterkin is defeated by a foe, inspire a Splatterkin of your choice by 1 inspiration. Her second talent is Replenish. Elisa Kalchik gains 4 inspiration each time your showcase defeats a foe. In order to play the game, your deck does need 1 Visionary. You can have more than 1, so be sure to choose which Visionary you'll be using wisely. Each Visionary has their own unique play style, so keep that in mind when choosing which one you'll use. We're gonna learn about Splatterkins themselves. The game starts off in the planning stage. During the first planning stage, both players pick a Splatterkin with 1 inspiration and play it face down as their starting showcase. This is done before the decks are shuffled. Each player is able to place techniques, alterations, and finishes down during this time as well, as long as your Visionary has the inspiration to do so. You are not able to place another Splatterkin yet on the drying rack to dry. That comes into effect later. When both players are ready to proceed, reveal your showcase and go to the next round. There is no battle stage during the first round of the game. From the beginning of the game onward, each player will have at least 5 cards in their hand to start. If you have less than 5 at the start of a new round, draw back up to 5. If you already have 5 cards in your hand, draw 1. If your Visionary or another Splatterkin inspires your dried Splatterkins, go ahead and do so. Splatterkins that dry at the start of a round will also gain inspiration the same round they dried. During each round, you are able to place 1 Splatterkin to dry on the drying rack. You can only have a max of 3 Splatterkin on the drying rack at one time, so use it wisely. As the game proceeds, your Splatterkins will possibly gain inspiration. An original Splatterkin can have only a max of 4 inspiration. Each Splatterkin has a talent that is activated when certain conditions are met. Some activate when a Splatterkin dries or when it becomes the showcase. If it does not specify, then the talent will take effect when it dries. Another way to use a talent again is if the talent specifically states it can be used more than once, or if there's a technique that allows them to use it multiple times. A Splatterkin's inspiration is not only used for how much it costs to summon them, but also for their attack and health. When battling against a foe, damage happens at the same time. Let's look at an example. Here's Bobbles, a Splatterkin with 2 inspiration. Bobbles is fighting against Rosemary, who has 1 inspiration. Rosemary's talent is Poison. Poison affects the opponent's showcase, which in this case happens to be Bobbles. Bobbles cannot gain any inspiration as long as Rosemary remains the showcase. Now, it's my turn to attack. I'm going to use Bobbles to attack Rosemary. Bobbles deals 2 damage, but also takes 1. Why? Rosemary's inspiration is 1, so while Bobbles is dealing 2 damage to Rosemary, Rosemary is dealing 1 damage to Bobbles. Rosemary may end up defeated and sent to the drawing board, but Bobbles is now weakened down to 1 inspiration. If my opponent hasn't attacked yet and brings out a new showcase, they can potentially defeat Bobbles and make me get a new showcase as well. Now remember, damage doesn't reset, But if something inspires or heals your showcase or any Splatterkin you have, they can gain inspiration back. The player whose Splatterkin defeats a foe wins 1 paint drop. You need 10 paint drops total to win the game. If both Splatterkins defeat each other, both players will get 1 paint drop each. If there is no showcase on your opponent's side, and you haven't attacked yet during that round, you can attack them directly to gain 1 paint drop. We're going to learn about alterations. Alterations are a unique way to give your Splatterkins a new talent without changing the ones it currently has. Some alterations have additional effects if applied to a certain Splatterkin, and it will be listed in the card effect. To apply an alteration, your Splatterkin must be dry and located either on the drying rack or be your current showcase. It doesn't cost anything to apply an alteration, and original Splatterkin can only have 1 alteration at a time. If revised, then they can have 2. To use an alteration, you pay for it from your Splatterkin's inspiration, not your Visionaries. Pay close attention to the cost, otherwise you could accidentally send them to the drawing board. It's time to talk about how you can utilize finishes in your battles. Finishes are a great way to build up your Splatterkins. Each Splatterkin can have up to 2 finishes applied at a time. Finishes can give them a passive talent such as polish or conceal, or allow them to swap their colorway or even gain additional paint drops when defeating a foe. To use a finish, your Visionary pays the cost from their inspiration and you can apply it to a dried Splatterkin of your choice. Have fun applying finishes and changing up your gameplay.